2026년 5월 9일 토요일 오전 7시 53분입니다. 강연 TV를 시작하겠습니다. 이번 시간은 구약성경 다니엘 1장 1절부터 영어 성경으로 읽어보도록 하겠습니다. In the third year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, came Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem, and seized it. And the Lord gave Jehoiakim, king of Judah, into his hand with part of the vessels of the house of God, which he carried into the land of Shinar to the house of his God. And he brought the vessels into the treasure house of his God, and the king spake unto Abunasa, the master of his that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes. Children in whom was no blemish, but were favored and skillful in all wisdom and cunning in knowledge and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand in the king's place, and whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldeans. And the king appointed the daily provision of the king's meat and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, and at the end thereof they might stand before the king. Now among these were of the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names. From he gave unto Daniel the name of Belteshazzar, and to Hananiah of Shadrach, and to Mishael of Meshach, and to Azariah of Abednego. But Daniel proposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank, before the requested of the prince of the eunuchs, that he might not defile himself. Now God had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who has appointed your meat and your drink. For why should he see your faces worse liking than the children which are of your sort? They then shall he make me in danger my head to the king. Then said Daniel to Melsar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Prove thy servants, so I visit thee 10 days, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink. Then let our countenances be looked upon before thee, and the countenances of the children that eat of the portion of the king's meat, and as though she stood there with the servants. So he consented to them in this matter, and proved them 10 days, and at the end of 10 days, their countenance was fairer and better in Persia than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat. The Melsar took away the portion of their meat and the wine that they issued drink, and gave them plus them a person. As for these four children, God gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom, and Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. Now at the end of the day, that the king had said he should bring them in. Then the prince of the eunuchs brought them in before Nebuchadnezzar, and the king communed with them, and among them all was found none like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Therefore stood they before the king. And in all matters of wisdom and understanding that the king inquired of them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and astrologers. Astrologers that were in all his realm. And Daniel continued even unto the first year of King Kores, and in the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, dreamed dream song, wherewith his spirit was troubled, and his sleep break from him. Then the king commanded to call the magicians and the astrologers and the sorcerers and the Chaldeans for to show the king his dreams. So they came and stood before the king, and the king said unto them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit was troubled to know the dream. Then spake the Chaldeans to the king in Syriac. O king, live forever, tell thy servants the dream, and we wish the interpretation. The king answered and said to the children's son, the thing is gone from me. If ye will not make known unto me the dream with the interpretation thereof, ye shall be cut in pieces, and your houses shall be made a dunghill. But if ye should dream and the interpretation thereof, ye shall receive about me gifts and reward and great honor. Therefore, shew me the dream and the interpretation thereof. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream, and we wish the interpretation of it. The king answered and said, I know of a certain thing that ye would gain at the time, because the thing is gone from me. But if ye will not make known unto me the dream, there is but one decree for you, for ye have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me, till the time be changed. Therefore tell me the dream, and I shall know that ye can show me the interpretation thereof. The children's answered before the king and said, there is not a man put upon the earth that can show the king's matter. Therefore there is no king, nor ruler that asked such things at any magician or astrologer or Chaldean. And it is all thing that the king requires, and there is none other that can show it before the king except the gods whose dwelling is not with flesh. For this cause the king was angry and very furious, and commanded to destroy all the wise men of Babylon. And the decree went forth that the wise men should be slain, and they sought to Daniel and his fellows to be slain. Then Daniel answered with counsel and wisdom to Arioch, the captain of the king's guard, which was gone forth to slay the wise men of Babylon. He answered and said to Arioch, the king's captain, why is the decree so hasty from the king? Then Arioch made the king known to Daniel. Then Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would give him time, and that he would show the king the interpretation. And then Daniel went to his house and made the king known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, that they would desire mercies of the God of heaven concerning this secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in night vision. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered and said, "Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his." And he changed song the times and the seasons. He removes kings and sets up kings. He gives wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that no understanding. He reveals the hid and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and the light the verse with him. I thank thee and praise thee, O God of my fathers, who has given me wisdom and might, and has made known unto me now what we desired of thee, for thou hast now made known unto us the king's matter. And therefore Daniel went in unto Arioch, whom the king had ordained to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went and said thus unto him, "Destroy not the wise men of Babylon. Bring me in before the king, and I will issue unto the king the interpretation." Then Arioch brought in Daniel before the king in haste, and said thus unto him, "I've found a man of the captive son of Judah that will make known unto the king the interpretation." The king answered and said to Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, "Art thou able to make known unto me the dream which I have seen, and the interpretation thereof?" Daniel answered in the presence of the king and said, "The secret which the king has demanded cannot the wise man, the astrologer's son, the magician's son, the soothsayer's son, show unto the king. But there is a God in heaven that reveals secrets and makes known to the king Nebuchadnezzar what shall be in the latter days. Thy dream and the visions of thy head upon thy bed are these." As for thee, O king, thy thoughts came into thy mind upon thy bed, what should come to pass hereafter, and he that reveals secrets makes known to thee what shall come to pass. But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than any writing, but for their sake, they shall make known interpretation to the king, and that thou mightest know the thoughts of thy heart. Thou, O king, so is so, and behold, great image, that is great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his things of brass. His legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Though so is still that a stone was cut out without handles, which is most of the image upon his feet. They were of iron and clay and break them to pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together and became like the cap of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away. Then an place was found for them, and the sun that smote the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth. This is the dream, and we will tell the interpretation thereof before the king. The king art king of kings, for the God of heaven has given the kingdom, power and strength and glory, and wheresoever the children of men will the beasts of the field and the fowls of the heaven has he given into thine hand, and has made thee ruler over them, or thou art this head of gold. And after thee shall arise another kingdom inferior to thee, and another so the kingdom of brass, which shall be rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron break some in pieces and subdue some, all things, and as iron that break some, or this shall it break in pieces and brew some. And whereas so is the feet and toes are part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength but the iron, for as much as the so is the iron mixed with mildly clay. And as the tools of the feet are part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas those is iron mixed with my clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not correlate one to another, even as iron is not mixed with the clay. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. For as much as the so is that the stone was cut out of the mountain without handles, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold. The great God has made it known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof sure. Then the king Nebuchadnezzar fell upon his face and worshipped Daniel and commanded that they should offer an oblation and sweet or dual song unto him. The king answered unto Daniel and said, Of truth it is that your God is a God of gods and a Lord of kings and a revealer of secret thing, though could still reveal this secret. Then the king made Daniel a great man and gave him many great gifts and made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon and the chief of the governors over all the wise men of Babylon. Then Daniel requested of the king, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel sat in the gate of the king. Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 3 cubits, and the breadth there were 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to get together the princes, the governors, and the captains, these the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Then the princes, the governors, and the captains, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up, and they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then Herod cried aloud to you, it is commanded, all people, nations, and languages, that at what time he heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sharp, boot, string, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. And whoso falls not down and worship shall the same hour be cast into the midst of burning fiery furnace. Therefore, at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sharp, sorcery, and all kinds of music, or the people at the nations and the languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. When for at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews They speak and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, alive forever. The king his made decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sharp flute, sorcery, and the cymbal, and all kinds of music shall fall down in the worship the golden image, and whoso falls not down in the worship saw that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom the has set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar in his rage and fully commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. The one is specific and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, to not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now, if ye be ready at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sharp, sorcery, and cymbal, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of burning fire only furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hand? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in all this matter. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his pieces was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should hit the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be hit on. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished and rose up in haste. And spake and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast three men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, Through, O king. He answered and said, I see four men working in the midst of the fire, and they have no heart, and the form of the fourth is like the Son of God. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire, and the princes, governors, and captains, and the king's counselors being gathered together. So these men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was on hair of their head, seeing neither where their clothes changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. Then the Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yielded their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any god except their own God. Therefore, I make a decree that every people, nation, and language which speak anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made dunghill, because there is no other God that can deliver after this sort. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar the king unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I saw to it good to show the signs and wonders that the high God has wrought toward me. How great are his signs, and how mighty are his wonders. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation. Nebuchadnezzar was at rest in a house, and flourishing in my place. I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts upon my bed and the visions above my head troubled me. Therefore made I the courage to bring in all the wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known unto me the interpretation of the dream. And then came in the musicians, the astrologers, the children's and the sailors, and I told the dream before them, but they did not make known unto me the interpretation thereof. But the rest of the night came in before me, whose name was Belteshazzar, according to the name of my God, and in whom is the spirit of the holy gods. And before him I told the dream, saying, O Belteshazzar, master of the magicians, because I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in thee, and no secret troubles thee. Tell me the visions of my dream that I have seen, and the interpretation thereof. Thus we are the visions of mine hid in my bed. I saw, and behold, a tree in the midst of the earth, and the height thereof was greater. The tree grew and was strong, and the height thereof reached unto heaven, and the sight thereof to the end of the earth. The rivers thereof were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and in it was meat for all. The beasts of the field had shed under it, and the fowls of the heaven dwelt in the bosom thereof, and all flesh was fed of it. I saw in the visions of my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher and an unholy one came down from heaven. He cried aloud and said, thus, hew down the tree, and cut off his branches, shake off his rivers, and scatter his fruit. Let the beast get away from it, and the fowls from his branches. Nevertheless, leave the stump of his roots in the earth, even with bend iron and breast in the tender grass of the field, and let it be with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beasts in the course of the earth. Let his heart be changed from man's, and let the beast's heart be given unto him, and let 7 times pass over him. This matter is by it decree of the watcher song, and the tree and the demand by it what the holy one song to the intent that the writing may know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of man, and give us to eat to whomsoever he will, and set us over it basis of man. This dream I can and Bonnesar have seen Naudo or build Sasar the interpretation thereof, for as Moses or the wise men of my kingdom are not able to make known unto me the interpretation, but what ever for the Spirit of the Holy God is in the then Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar, was astonished for 1 hour, and his thoughts toward him. The king spake and said, Belshazzar, let not the dream or the interpretation thereof trouble the Belshazzar answered and said, my Lord, the dream be to them that hate thee, and the interpretation thereof to thine. The tree that thou sawest which grew and was strong, whose height reached unto the heaven, and the sight thereof to all the earth, whose leaves were fair, and the fruit thereof much, and in it was meat for all, under which the fish of the field dwelt, and upon whose branches the force of the heaven had their habitation. It is so okay that art grown and become strong, for thy greatness is grown and rich is so unto heaven, and thy dominion unto the end of the earth. And whereas the king saw a watcher and unholy one coming down from heaven, and saying, hew the tree down and destroy it, yet leave the stump of the roots therefore in the earth, even with a band of iron and a progress in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beasts of the field, till 7 times pass over him. This is the interpretation, O king, and this is the decree of the Most High, which is come upon my Lord, the king, that they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, and they shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and they shall with thee with the dew of heaven, and 7 times shall pass over thee, till thou know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of man, and gives it to whosoever he will. And whereas they commanded to leave the stump of the tree roots, thy kingdom shall be sure unto thee, after that thou shalt have known that the heavens do rule. Wherefore, O king, let my counsel be acceptable unto thee, and break off thy sins by righteousness, and thine iniquities by showing mercy to the poor, if it may be lengthening of thy killing. All this came upon the king Nebuchadnezzar at the end of 12 months. He worked in the place of the kingdom of Babylon. The king spake and said, Is not this great Babylon that I have built for the house of the kingdom by the might of my power and for the honor of my majesty? While the word was in the king's mouth, there fell a voice from heaven, saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to thee it is spoken, the kingdom is departed from thee, and they shall drive thee from men, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, and they shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and 7 times shall pass over thee until thou know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and give us it to whosoever he will. The same hour was the thing fulfilled upon Nebuchadnezzar, and he was driven from men, and did eat grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of heaven, until his hairs were grown like eagles' feathers, and his nails like birds' claws. And at the end of the days, I Nebuchadnezzar lifted up mine eyes unto heaven, and mine understanding returned unto me, and I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honored him that lives forever, whose dominion is on everlasting dominion, and his kingdom is from generation to generation, and all the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing. And he does according to his will in the army of heaven and among the inhabitants of the earth, and none can stay his hand or say unto him, What doest thou? At the same time, my ears returned unto me, and for the glory of my kingdom, my honor and brightness returned unto me, and my counselors and my lords sought unto me, and I was established in my kingdom, and excellent majesty was added unto me. Now I know one is praise and extol and honor the King of heaven, all whose works are truth, and his ways judgment, and those that work in pride, he is able to obey his song. 다니엘 4장 37절까지 읽어봤습니다. 뒤에 5장부터는 저녁에 읽어보도록 하겠습니다. 시청해주셔서 감사합니다. 수고하셨습니다. 안녕히 계십시오.